Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're digging into a word you hear, well, everywhere, but maybe don't always feel you have solid handle on. Zen. You
Hmm.
see Zen restaurant or Zen design. Maybe you even talk about having a Zen moment when things feel calm.
Right, it gets used for almost anything simple or calming.
Exactly. But what really is Zen? Is it just like sensual bliss or that sleek look
Yeah.
or maybe just being really quiet?
Or there's something deeper.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
is it this super alert but still totally unbothered state of mind? We've looked into some really interesting sources, and our mission today is to kind of cut through that surface level stuff,
Yeah.
the exoticism, and figure out what real Zen for real life could actually mean for you.
It's true, yeah. The word Zen has picked up this strange kind of weight in the West. It sounds deep, mystical even,
Mm-hmm.
but often the way it's used is, well, pretty misleading. It can end up feeling a bit empty, you
It
know.
loses its meaning. Sort of. When Zen just means vaguely exotic calm, it kind of misses the point, the real profound core. So our goal today isn't to get lost in, like, ancient stories, but to really take seriously what Zen teachings claim they can do,
Okay.
how they can genuinely shed light on your life, maybe even change it right here, right now.
Okay, so let's unpack this. I
Yeah.
mean, our modern world, especially with social media, it really pushes us to constantly build these online identities, right?
Oh, absolutely. Constant curation.
We label ourselves all the time. I'm this kind of person. I do that.
Yeah.
But when was the last time you, or any of us really, just stopped and asked, who really am I? Like fundamentally.
Mm. It's a deep question.
We all carry these, identity boxes. Maybe you see yourself as a parent or an artist, a professional, whatever. But do those labels, even if you stack them all up, do they really capture all of who you are?
Probably not.
It makes me think of that old wisdom, Socrates, knowing that you don't know.
Yes. And the Tao Te Ching saying something similar. To know that one does not know is best.
And that ties right into Zen's focus on emptying the mind, returning to what they call the beginner's mind.
Beginner's mind, right.
In Buddhist tradition, they talk about 3 levels of wisdom. There's received wisdom, like just hearing or reading the teachings.
Okay, like learning facts.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Then there's intellectual wisdom, where you actually understand it. It makes logical sense to you.
Gotcha.
But then there's the 3rd level, experiential wisdom. And honestly, most modern learning, it kind of stops at that intellectual level, doesn't it?
Yeah, often it does.
But Zen's real aim is that 3rd one, experiential wisdom. That's what's seen as truly liberating, really life-changing. It's about letting the teachings kind of soak into your daily life. It's an invitation, really, to put Zen into practice, to know yourself, not just think about it.
So how do we actually start putting it into practice? I guess that leads us to the real practical core of Zen, which is meditation.
Exactly. Meditation. The Japanese word Zen itself, it literally means meditation or meditative concentration. Now, meditation's ancient, of course.
Yeah.
It shows up in tons of traditions. But Zen's approach is often described as, well, sudden, like a sudden awakening.
Sudden. How so?
It's framed as opening the hand of thought. Not trying to pile up more thoughts or figure things out intellectually, but clearing out the mental clutter. Clearing the heart-mind, as they call it.
Our mind, I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And one of our sources had this really vivid image. It said, the brain secretes thoughts like a sweat gland secretes sweat.
Ah. Okay, that's memorable.
It is, isn't it? The problem isn't the thinking itself. Thinking happens. The issue is getting, hooked, chasing after every chain of thought, letting our minds just constantly jump around.
Right. Like getting caught on a loop.
Precisely. This leads to what some call subtraction Zen. It's not about learning new tricks or adding another layer to your personality. It's more about shedding. Shedding those grasping desires, the ego-driven stuff, the attachments. There's this one teaching that puts it beautifully. Something like, I hope you got nothing out of the experience. In fact, I hope you get less than nothing.
Less than nothing. That sounds counterintuitive.
It does. But the point is, I hope you walk away lighter and freer, more open-minded and open-hearted. It's about letting go, not gaining.
Lighter and freer.
Okay, it's fascinating. And people often hit boredom when they first try to meditate, like really intense boredom sometimes.
Oh, yeah. I can imagine. The impulse is to just stop, right?
Totally.
Yeah.
Flee the boredom. But the teaching here is, don't run from it. Actually go into it. Go all the way into the boredom.
Willie, what?
Because that place of rest, that quiet you're looking for, it's underneath the restless, bored mind, not somewhere else entirely. You have to go through it.
Obviously.
There's also this really interesting insight from the Chinese character for busy. Literally, it breaks down to mean mind perishes.
Mind perishes. Seriously.
Yeah. The idea being when you're too busy, fragmented, rushing,
Mm-hmm.
you essentially lose your mind. You lose that centered awareness.
That resonates a lot, actually.
So Zen meditation is that pause,
Yeah.
that chance to clear out the busy mess and sort of wake up to your original state of openness.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So, if we're going to take that pause, clear the mind, what does that actually look like practically? How do we sit?
Right, the mechanics of stillness. Well, the sources suggest, think about it almost like physical rehabilitation.
Rehabilitation from what?
From all the stiffness and, frankly, bad posture we pick up from years of,
Yeah.
couch life, desk life. That's slouch karma.
Slouch karma. I feel seen.
Yeah, me too. So typically you sit on a cushion. It's called a zafu. Often that's placed on a flat mat, a zabuton. The main thing is finding a stable cross-legged position.
Like full lotus. I can't do that.
Most people can't, and that's fine. There's the Burmese position, which is easier. One heel tucked in, the other foot flat in front. Or half lotus, quarter lotus. Lots of options. The key is creating a stable tripod base. Your two knees and your buttocks.
Okay, a tripod. That gives stability.
Exactly. It lets your spine be naturally upright without straining. Now, you might feel some minor discomfort, and sometimes working with that is part of the discipline, but it shouldn't be real pain. Your position should help, not distract you more.
Makes sense. Support, not torture.
Precisely. And then there's the back and head. You want to gently rock side to side, forward and back, just from the hips. Find that balance point where your spine holds you up, not your muscles tensing. There should be a slight natural curve in your lower back.
Okay, so not ramrod straight, but naturally aligned.
Exactly. Alert but relaxed.
Yeah.
In your hands, you typically rest your right hand palm up in your lap, then the left hand on top of the right, also palm up, and your thumbs gently touch, forming this oval shape. That's called the cosmic mudra.
Cosmic mudra, what's the point of that?
It's actually a subtle feedback tool. If your thumbs press hard, you might be tense or agitated. If they drift apart, maybe your mind's wandering. If they droop, you might be getting drowsy.
Interesting, like a little mind state indicator.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
When they're just lightly touching, it often corresponds to that balanced state of relaxed alertness. Then tuck your chin just slightly. The idea is to align your ears over your shoulders and the tip of your nose over your belly button. It helps correct that forward head thing we get from screens.
Guilty again. Ears over shoulders, nose over navel. Got it.
The whole goal is this tranquil but alert mind. Not too hyper, not too zoned out. And dealing with the times you are agitated or sleepy, that's just part of the process. It's all practice.
Right. It's not about achieving perfection instantly. Okay, so we know how to sit. But Zen isn't just sitting on a cushion, is it? What about living? How does this translate off the cushion?
Great question. And that brings us to one of the Buddha's very first teachings, the middle way.
The middle way, I've heard that. Between what and what?
Between indulging all your senses and desires and harshly repressing them or denying yourself everything, there's this common misconception in the West that Buddhism is all about stamping out desire completely.
Yeah, like being totally ascetic.
Right. But look at Siddhartha Gautama himself. He grew up in extreme luxury, basically hedonism. Then he tried the opposite extreme asceticism, nearly starved himself. Neither worked. Enlightenment came when he found the balance, the middle way.
So it's not that all desire is bad.
Exactly. The Buddha taught that craving tanha, that excessive clinging, insatiable desire, that's what leads to suffering. But positive desires, like the desire to help others or to become enlightened yourself, those are actually good things to be cultivated.
Okay, that's a crucial distinction. Craving versus healthy desire.
It is. Think
That's a
about,
good point.
well, there's that Japanese saying, harachib. It means eat until you're 80% full.
Ah, okay. Not stuffing yourself.
Right. Compare that to like an all-you-can-eat buffet mentality. It's about finding that just right amount, not extremes.
That makes sense. The 80% rule.
Yeah. The Buddha used a great metaphor. Tuning a vina, which is like a lute, strings too loose, dull sound, strings too tight, they snap. You need just the right tension for beautiful music.
Nice. Applies to more than just eating, I bet.
Oh, definitely. Applies to the pitch of our persistence in anything we do. Which leads us neatly into the first noble truth. The truth of suffering, or dukkha.
Suffering. That sounds grim.
It can sound grim, but it's not just about like agony. It's more this underlying sense of dissatisfaction, unease, things not being quite right, a basic friction in life. And we often resist even admitting that. Deep down, we are often discontent.
Yeah, we try to ignore it or distract ourselves.
We do. And the basic formula for this suffering, this dukkha, is pretty simple.
Yeah.
It's a mismatch between what we desire and what reality is.
Desire versus reality. Okay.
So logically, you have two main strategies to deal with that mismatch. You can try to change reality to match your desire.
Right. Work harder, get the thing you want.
Or you can change your desire to align with reality.
Accept reality as it is. That sounds harder sometimes.
It often is. Think of Reinhold Niebuhr's famous serenity prayer. It basically sums it up right. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change,
The courage to change the things I can.
and the wisdom to know the difference. That wisdom is key, knowing when to push and when to accept.
Can you give an example?
Sure, maybe you dream of being a pro basketball player. You practice constantly, but you eventually have to accept you just don't have the physical height or attributes. Changing that reality isn't possible.
Okay. Acceptance is the path there.
Or think about appreciating something inherently temporary, like cherry blossoms in Japan. Their fleeting nature doesn't make them less beautiful. It makes the experience more intense, more precious. It pulls you right into the present moment.
Embracing impermanence.
Exactly. Accepting that some facts, some realities are just stubborn. They won't bend to our will no matter how much we want them to.
That's a big shift in perspective, but it connects to another really challenging Zen idea, doesn't it? This whole concept of no self, and it, man, that can cause some serious existential wobbles.
Oh, for sure. These are probably one of the most misunderstood concepts, especially coming from Western backgrounds where we often think of an enduing soul or a fixed self.
Right, like, I think, therefore I am. There's an I doing the thinking.
But is there? It's interesting. When the Buddha was directly asked, does the self exist or does the self not exist? He famously just remained silent.
Silent. Why?
It's interpreted as pointing towards an ontological middle way, avoiding the extremes of saying there's an eternal, unchanging self, eternalism, and saying there's just nothing, total annihilation. Nihilism.
Okay, so not yes and not no.
Kind of. And even Western philosophers have questioned that fixed I, William James, Nietzsche. They suggested when you look closely, you don't find a thinker behind the thoughts.
Yeah.
You just find thinking happening. That I might just be a grammatical habit, not a concrete thing.
Wow, okay. Just thinking is going on. That's trippy.
It is a bit. So Zen clarifies this by teaching that the true self is egoless and Atman. But, and this is crucial, this isn't some empty void like a black hole of nothingness.
Right, then what is it?
It's about seeing ourselves not as isolated entities, but as interconnected processes, everything arising together. It's called interdependent origination.
Interdependent origination, everything connected.
Yeah. And here's a paradox. The great self is precisely no self, meaning the self, when freed from the tight box of ego, is actually open to everything. It's undefined, unlimited, ultimately unified with the whole universe.
Unified with the universe. Wow.
It's why teachings about compassion make so much sense in this framework. Like, love your neighbor as yourself. If your true self isn't separate from your neighbor's true self.
And loving them is loving yourself, in a way.
Exactly. It fuels boundless compassion. Think of the Hindu teaching, Tat Tvamasi, you are that.
You are that.
There's a story where a teacher dissolves salt in water and asks the student to taste it from different parts. It all tastes salty. The essence is everywhere, inseparable. That's the idea. We're all part of that one taste of reality. Seeing this interconnectedness, truly feeling it, it naturally activates empathy, compassion, even sympathetic joy, being happy for others' happiness.
So, if we have this egoless, interconnected self, how does that actually play out day to day? Off the cushion, in the messy real world.
Well, that's where you get this idea of the everyday even mind.
Mm-hmm.
There's a famous Zen story, a koan, about a monk asking the master Zhaozhou about enlightenment.
Yeah. What did he say?
Zhaozhou just asked, have you eaten your rice porridge? The monk says, yes. Zhaozhou says, then you had better wash your bowls.
Wash your bowls. That's the profound advice.
Exactly. The point is, enlightenment, awakening. It isn't some mystical state you achieve away from life. It's found right there, in the middle of washing your bowls, doing the laundry, dealing with emails.
So not about seeking superpowers or visions.
Not at all. It's about waking up to the wondrousness that's already present in mundane things. Dogen, a key Zen figure, talked about his experiencing the monastery cooks, the Tenzo in China. They weren't high-ranking monks, but they poured their whole being into preparing food, handling ingredients with a reverence.
Just fully present in their task.
Completely. And Dogen realized that was the practice. Yeah. Everything you encounter, every task, every person, that is your practice field. This leads to what's called engaged Zen.
Engaged Zen, meaning?
Meaning you don't just cultivate inner peace and keep it to yourself on the cushion.
Yeah.
You bring it out into the world Thich Nhat Hanh was huge on this. He said meditation isn't an escape from society. It equips you to re-engage with society more effectively, more peacefully, to bring calm and understanding to conflict, to suffering. It really echoes Gandhi, be the change you wish to see in the world.
Be the change. Yeah, so meditation fuels action in a way.
It can, yes,
Yeah.
or informs action. It helps you act from a place of clarity and compassion rather than reactivity or ego.
Okay, that connects to karma too, right?
Right.
Is karma like cosmic punishment in Zen?
Not really, no. The
Oh,
dharma of
really?
karma is seen more like natural law, not supernatural judgment. You reap what you sow basically means you become how you act.
You become how you act.
Yeah. If you constantly lie, you become a liar. It shapes your mind, your relationships. If you habitually reach for coffee when stressed, that pattern gets ingrained. Your actions create momentum, like a sailboat catching the wind. It shapes your future possibilities.
So it's about cause and effect shaping our character and our path.
Exactly. There's a famous koan, the wild fox Zen koan. The upshot is that an enlightened person isn't immune to cause and effect. They don't magically float above karma. But they also aren't blinded or trapped by it. They see how it works. Freedom comes from that awareness.
Awareness of the process.
Right, and acting skillfully within it. Bodhidharma, the monk, often credited with bringing Zen to China, famously told Emperor Wu that all the temples he built had earned him no merit.
No merit. Why not? That sounds harsh.
The point was about motivation. Acting freely, responsibly, compassionately, without doing it just to rack up spiritual points or boost your ego. It's about acting without those egocentric calculations.
Acting for its own sake, almost.
Yes, and this leads to a kind of radical acceptance. Both Bodhidharma and a later master, Harada Shodo, taught something like, to meet with disaster at the time of disaster is fine, just as it is.
Whoa, that sounds passive, like just letting bad things happen.
It's not passive inaction. It means facing reality squarely, without denial, without wishing it were different in that moment. Accepting the reality of the disaster is the necessary first step to responding skillfully and compassionately.
Okay, facing it head on, not running away mentally.
Precisely. And this applies to morality, too. Zen uses skillful means.
Yeah.
The precepts, the ethical guidelines, they're important, but they aren't rigid, absolute rules carved in stone.
They can be bent.
In certain situations, for the sake of compassion, a bodhisattva, someone dedicated to awakening for all beings, might break a precept. The classic example is lying to a hunter to save a rabbit. Or a more extreme one, a ship captain who realizes one person is about to murder 500 others and chooses to kill that one person to save the many.
Wow, so Zen isn't absolute pacifism then?
It's generally not, though nonviolence is highly valued. But it acknowledges complex situations. However, and this is a really important caution from history, the book Zen at War showed how Zen principles were tragically misused in Japan to support militarism.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It's a sobering reminder that Zen practice alone doesn't automatically make someone ethical. You still have to think critically, engage your conscience. It urges us to, meditate and think really long and hard before ever deeming violence necessary.
That's a crucial point. Practice isn't a magic bullet for ethics. Okay, so where does this all lead? This path of awareness, engagement, skillful means? What's the goal, if not just merit?
It leads towards what's called no mind, Mushin. But again, no doesn't mean blankness. It means a mind that isn't stuck. An open, fluid mind that can respond appropriately to whatever arises because it's not fixated on any one idea or outcome. Not fixated, fluid. Yeah. Think of Bodhidharma again. Legend says he came to China without why. His actions weren't driven by some personal goal. They were just arising naturally, unselfishly. Almost autotelic, done for their own sake. Like Meister Eckhart's living without why.
Living without why. That's quite a thought.
It is, and Zen often finds this quality reflected in nature. There's a beautiful line about the giving leaves, how nature just constantly gives, participates in this flow. Gary Snyder, the poet, called the natural world the big potlatch, this endless cycle of giving and receiving.
The big potlatch. I like that image.
You can even try a meditation with this, like conspiring with the leaves. Breathe in the oxygen they release as a gift. Breathe out carbon dioxide as your gift back to them. Feel that direct, intimate connection, that inner being.
Inner being.
Breathing with the tree.
Or another one. Exhaling the self, inhaling the universe. On the out-breath, really feel like you're breathing yourself out, letting go of that tight sense of me. And on the in-breath, feel like you're receiving the whole universe into that open, vacated space, dissolving the boundary. Exhaling self, inhaling universe, that sounds intense.
It can be powerful. These practices point towards Zen's understanding of emptiness, shunyata.
Emptiness again. Still sounds a bit negative.
I know it does in English. But in Zen, it's not nihilistic. It's
Yeah.
not about nothingness in a bleak way. It's about openness,
Mhm.
potentiality. It's like the fertile ground from which everything grows. Thich Nhat Hanh explains it well. A cup empty of tea might be full of air. It's empty of something specific, but full of potential.
Okay. Empty of fixed self, full of interconnectedness.
Exactly. Or think of a wave in the ocean. Is a wave a separate thing? No. It's empty of a separate permanent wave self. But it's full of water. Its entire being is water, dynamically expressed.
Wave and water. Nice analogy.
So Zen has this paradoxical relationship with words, too. On one hand, it emphasizes a special transmission outside all doctrines, going beyond words.
Right. Fingers pointing at the moon. Don't mistake the finger for the moon.
Precisely. But on the other hand, it doesn't just reject language. Another saying goes, Zen is like spring, and words are like the flowers. Language can be beautiful, expressive, useful, as long as we don't get trapped by it.
Use words, but don't cling to them.
Yeah. And while Zen emphasizes practice over pure intellect, it doesn't dismiss philosophy. The Kyoto School philosophers, for instance, engage deeply with Zen concepts like absolute nothingness and the field of emptiness, trying to articulate this experiential wisdom intellectually.
So there's room for both practice and thought.
Absolutely. Grounding the intellect in holistic wisdom. In terms of practice styles, you have Soto Zen, which emphasizes shikantaza, or just sitting objectless awareness, and Rinzai Zen, which often uses kurens, those paradoxical riddles, to break through conceptual thinking.
Toten's like, what is the sound of one hand clapping?
That's the most famous one, yeah. And even walking can be a deep practice. Try this walking meditation sometime. First, take each step as if it's the very first step you've ever taken. Feel the novelty.
Okay. First step.
Then switch. Take each step as if it's the absolute last step you'll ever take. Feel the preciousness.
Last step. Poignant.
Finally, try to hold both simultaneously. Take each step as both the first and the last. See what happens. It's a way to wake up to the simple, profound wonder of walking.
First and last step. Wow. Okay. What an incredible journey we've been on, really digging into Zen, from the philosophy to the practicalities.
It covers a lot of ground.
It really does. And it feels clear that, understanding Zen isn't like reaching a final level in a game. It's an ongoing path, isn't it?
Absolutely. A lifelong practice.
This reminds me of those famous ox-herding pictures. They map out this journey of finding the true self, right? The ox represents the mind, or the true self.
That's right. 10 stages.
And the really big breakthrough, picture number 8, it's just an empty circle. Everything disappears, the ox, the herder, everything.
Total emptiness, Hunyata realized.
But then it doesn't end there. That's what's fascinating. The final pictures show the herder returning to the village, back to the marketplace, just living an ordinary life, but transformed.
Radiating wisdom and compassion naturally.
So the ultimate lesson seems to be the path leads you right back where you started, but you see it completely differently. You realize the journey itself was the destination. You're finally kind of at home right here.
Beautifully put. That's a core realization. And as you, the listener, continue exploring Zen, I really do encourage you, if possible, find a local Zen center or sitting group.
Community matters.
Immensely. In Buddhism, they talk about the 3 jewels or 3 treasures. The Buddha, the teacher, the awakened example, the Dharma, the teachings and practices, and the Sangha, the community of practitioners.
Buddha, Dharma, Sangha.
Yeah. These aren't things you worship blindly. They're seen as invaluable resources, go-to guides for figuring out what life's about and how to live it well. You deepen your understanding and trust through practice and sharing the path with others.
Makes sense. It's hard to do this stuff completely alone.
Very hard. And maybe a final thought to leave you with, something provocative to mull over. If you want to possess everything, you have to give up all possessions.
Give up everything to have everything. Another Zen paradox.
It is. It really gets to the heart of that emptying process we talked about. Letting go of the grasping ego allows you to truly connect with, and in a sense, be everything. It's about finding richness and letting go.